Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
I have to say, when we first started the show, one of the things we had was how awesome it would be to have President Waldron on the show, and we always said it would never happen, and now you're here. So thank you for coming.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
And you've actually been on WPTV before on The Roundabout.
Yes.
And you were actually on our old variety show where you talked to our man on the street puppet.
Yes.
And we have a picture of that. Let's take a look at it. Can we get a little cut of that? There we go.
I thought he was cute. Right.
So, right into it, many people are interested in what's been going on with the Izod Center.
Oh, yes.
So you said you wanted to say something
Oh,
about that.
right. So this morning, I got a letter from the Izod Center saying, even though we have a contract with the Izod Center, we can't have commencement there this May. So we're really excited about that. Change of plan, and stay tuned. That's all I can say.
Okay.
We'll still have commencement. We have to find a new place for it, and we'll let you know when we figure that one out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know, it's really weird that they just shut it down like that.
I think they're really broke. So, you know, they really needed to shut down and start over again. And so this is going to affect William Patterson University, but also some other universities and some high schools. So we're talking to them, but I don't know what's going to happen. We just found out today. Yeah.
Well, I have a big backyard.
How big?
We can fit about 2 classes in there. Not like classes like the whole graduating class. Like we can probably fit a sociology and a philosophy class in there.
Do you have a tent?
We have a tent and a grill. We can grill.
Oh, grill.
Yes.
Oh, well, okay.
We can
grill. Okay.
It'll be good.
Okay.
Keep it in mind.
Plan D.
There we go.
Thank you.
It's better than Plan F.
It is.
So, what's your typical day-by-day process when you come to William Patterson as the president?
The only thing that I know every morning is I have a parking spot. I have my own parking spot, and that is a big deal. So I drive in. Occasionally there's a student in my parking spot. And sometimes the student's sitting in his car. It's always a guy. And I knock on the window and politely ask, would you mind moving to another spot? This is the president's spot. And sometimes the person says yes, sometimes the person says maybe. And then I explain I'm the president, and then they move out real fast.
As they should.
As they should, yeah. No, my day's really varied. I mean, today I was on the phone with a bunch of people. I had a meeting in the morning, and then I gave an address to all of the faculty and staff, about 500 people, at lunchtime for about 40 minutes talking about the state of the university, what we're hoping to accomplish this year, and some wonderful things that students and faculty have done. Then I took more phone calls and met with Congressman Pascrell, who was on campus today, and then came over here.
Wow. Being a president, and you were a dean at another school before this, right?
I was a president of Baruch College in New York and dean of the business school at Long Island University. And
I feel that must be a stressful job, being a president or a dean. So is there something that you enjoy doing on your spare time that when you're not the president?
Yes. So I love going to the movies, and I would go to the movies if I could every day. I really would, but I don't have time. And then sometimes I go to theater on Broadway because I really love shows, drama, musicals, and just to do different things.
Do you have a favorite movie or a favorite Broadway show you've seen?
So I just saw The Hobbit, which I didn't like. And did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
No?
I like the original Hobbit.
I did too.
I'm a reader.
Oh, you're a reader?
You can tell.
Oh, yes. And I saw the movie Selma, which is about Martin Luther King, which I really thought was fabulous. And
we're nominated for Best Picture, I think.
Yep. And I hope all students can get a chance to see it, and we may actually organize some outings to theaters for students, and they may tie it into some coursework on Martin Luther King. It's excellent. Really good.
And you have a favorite Broadway show at all, or?
What did I saw, I'm going to see Kinky Boots this weekend, but I saw The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night, which is about a young man who's autistic, and the staging of the theater captures the visual and oral sensation of what it must be like to be autistic, where you're overwhelmed with sensations and sounds and lights. and the young man doesn't have a reaction to it the way you and I might, and the staging of that play was really phenomenal.
There's a lot of lights and technical stuff.
Very technical staging, and the story, of course, is quite poignant, and it's very interesting, really interesting.
So as the president here, you go to a lot of events, which is awesome because not a lot of schools have that. But in your experience here so far, is there anything that you've gone to or any event that you've done where you had a blast that you really enjoy?
You know, I've done so many things on campus, so it's really hard to pick out one. I love going to our basketball games. Men and women are both having great seasons this year. I like going to our ice hockey at the Vault. I don't know if you've ever done that, but they're having a great season also. They're probably going to go to the national champions.
Good.
They're really good this year. And I love interacting with students, sometimes formally, sometimes casually. Sometimes I get invited to a class and I get to speak to students. Other times I'm just wandering about and students will come over and talk to me. So I really always find that a really good thing to do, and I really enjoy it.
And sometimes you get invited to late night shows.
And I get invited to late night shows. I get invited to radio shows. Sometimes I'm invited to honors induction ceremonies. And yesterday I was at the nurse pinning ceremony for all of our students who are graduating as nurses.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, well, it's really good.
Eric also hosts a radio show, so you have to go on his radio show.
Yes,
well, when's your radio show?
Thursday morning, 6 a.m.
He does 2 shows.
Up and early, right? That's normal time for you.
No, it's not.
Well,
you do a show at 6 a.m.?
Yes, 6 a.m. on Thursdays, and Fridays, 3 o'clock p.m.
I'll do
2 different shows.
Friday sounds better.
Friday sounds a lot better. Yeah.
And lastly, you said there was this $1 million gift or donation that you were speaking of.
Right.
And I think I'm interested. I'm sure everyone else is interested.
So
it's for me.
It's oh, it's from you. Oh, thank you so much. Not yet, huh?
I got to call my bank real quick.
Maybe someday?
Yeah.
You know, I always tell students when they graduate, and we graduate about 3,000 students a year, that there will be 10 or 20 students who by the time they're 30, they're going to be millionaires. And I want them to remember William Patterson University, and by the time they're 50 years old, they'll be multimillionaires, and could they please give back that first million to William Patterson University? And invariably, some student will raise his hand and say, I'll do it, President. If it's me, I'll do it. And so on Tuesday afternoon, I got a phone call from somebody who wants to remain anonymous just now. And they said that they had decided to give William Patterson University $1 million.
Wow.
And for scholarships for students, because they think students at William Patterson University really strive hard. They're gritty, they're smart, they work hard, they're no nonsense, and they want to invest in these students.
Wow.
How about that?
That's great.
Isn't that great?
That's amazing.
It is.
I'll say I'll do that too if Eric will.
Eric,
I'll
want
do
to
it.
split it?
I'll
you
donate
guys?
2.
Okay.
3. No.
All right, I draw the line there.
All right, 3.
I'm going to call you.
And lastly, we'd like to thank you for these beautiful studios you've given to us, and thank you for coming on the show. But when we get back, Eric and I are going to sit down with Kathleen Waldron, play a little game of Heads Up with a special guest. So don't go anywhere. This is Late Night.